Another good question. I love your questions today. Um, I think one of the most important messages from the book is about communication and mindset. And what I mean by that, depending the words we choose in our day-to-day life, it shapes the way we see the world. The way we see the world shapes our mindset, and our mindset really either drives or blocks us from our future successes.
Welcome to Inspired Choice today. I'm your host, Caroline Biesalski, here to bring you authentic stories, surprising lessons, and powerful takeaways to fuel your journey in business and life. In each episode, I'll take you from one inspiring guest to the next, blending their experiences with my expertise to uncover practical strategies you can use right away. Whether you're starting out or stepping up, stay tuned for insights and actionable tips that make a difference. And stick around until the end for a special freebie just for our listeners. Hello and welcome, Inspired Podcast community. This is your new episode. My name is Caroline and my today's guest is Olia, and I'm so happy she said yes to our interview. How are you doing today?
Thank you so much. I'm doing great. Thank you for having me, and it's a pleasure to be part of your episode today.
Wow, thank you. And I would love to introduce you to the audience. So, you are a best-selling author, HR expert, and CEO of Bonsai AI. And you have to help me. Is it pronounced Bonsai?
Perfect.
Oh, thank you so much. You are a Harvard Business School alumna and certified global professional in human resources. You specialize in human resources strategy, people development, and diversity and inclusion. Under your leadership, Bonsai AI offers innovative AI-powered products that revolutionize employee learning and development, reducing costs by 99% and enabling global scaling 50 times faster than traditional methods. Welcome to the Inspired Podcast. You are gone, Olia. Olia, I'm so happy to be here. Bonsai is I think it comes from the Japanese, right?
Yeah, so it's very interesting because we mix the concept a little bit, and bonsai usually is with an S as a tree, and ours has a Z instead. And the reason why we went for the name, because a lot of people right now fearing artificial intelligence, where in fact it brings a lot of good to the world. And the meaning of the company is actually we harmoniously merging innovation with the human wisdom that's been there for years and ages into the product that is sustainable and helpful for people.
Wow, that's so exciting, and I understand the concept. Thank you so much. I never know how to pronounce names or, because it's unique as well. But the tree is, everyone knows the bonsai tree, so it's helpful. And my first question to you is, how do Bonsai AI's products transform traditional employee learning? And what impact have you seen in terms of efficiency and scalability?
Very, very good question. So, my background been always in learning and development. I've been the person kind of sitting on the background, creating trainings for employees in all departments, all the way from onboarding to compliance to upskilling. That being said, it used to take us forever to create. And so to have a one good training course, you would spend roughly a month, or that's what we did in my team. And now, as I'm meeting more and more companies, people tell me that sometimes 3 months, sometimes 6 months, sometimes even a year, because you might not have an expertise, you might not have time, you might not have resources to create videos or like read a manual that is 1,000 pages long. And so one day I woke up and I asked myself, can I help more than one company every 3 to 5 years to do that? And because employee training is so powerful and it drives everything. It drives the culture, it drives revenue, it drives growth. And when people understand that, it's massive. And so the Bonsai AI, we took the whole concept of what was the most difficult pieces that would block training because companies either don't have time or don't have money to spend that much time on creating one training, right? and we merge it with what AI is capable of. And essentially, we optimize the whole creation process 50 times. And so, what we say, whatever used to take you a month, now you can do in just 15 minutes. So imagine how much faster you can move. On top of that, you can now finally do personalized courses at scale. So you can create the same course, let's say, learn about AI, right? But you can do it for a marketing intern, you can do it for a chief financial officer separately if you need to. So you can really go all the way deep to a person or to a department, and you can also do that globally with multiple language scalability. So that has been massive shift in the industry.
Wow, I see what you mean. So personalized. I love the word, and I know how it was traditionally. So it took time, you say, of course, and then it was not adapted to the departments, let's say. And when you said personalized, I really thought, but I think it is also that you address the person with their name, right? So easy.
Yes,
Customized,
correct.
personalized.
And as I always tell people, it's even if we wanted to do it in the past, we just didn't have tools to do it. And we had to make hard choices and we had to do them more generalized. And now we're so lucky that we can finally go away from that.
I love it already. Okay, I want to know more. Okay, my next question is, as a leader in both HR and AI, how do you see technology shaping the future of diversity and inclusion in the workplace?
Very good question. I got a lot of questions that are similar, not this one yet. I think AI is shaping everything in general very quickly. And I tell every single person I know, go learn what AI is. It's easier than you think. It's not that scary. Just start. Even those people who don't believe that it's changing. And diversity and inclusion always has been a challenge to the workplaces. First of all, because not everybody really knows what it is. Second, we are as humans have biases, natural biases that we need to work with. So I think diversity and inclusion will help big time fighting biases, even though there has been some challenges with technologies because the data that we train them on had bias. But at the same time, like when you're aware of it, you can work through that. And technology works faster than our brain. So we're gonna have very, very powerful tool for the first hiring selection, let's say, where it's gonna remove that bias, right? Where the system can actually completely not look into your name, your maybe hobbies and stuff, and really look into your experience. So I think for filtering, it's gonna be really good, powerful. Data will help to also understand the patterns. There is a possibility that some types of people will be better suitable for some types of role. And I wouldn't be surprised if in the future we're going to see that. And because now AI helps to analyze data so quickly, we can definitely see better patterns. And I think it's also going to help people to get equal access to education and get really selected by the skills and the results versus who talks better at the interview, let's say it this way, because not every role needs that perfect communication. But the reality is, as humans, we still choose people who communicate better and more clear to us, right? So just because we can understand what they're talking about. So I think for some of the technical roles, it's also going to alleviate a lot of those pains.
I understand, and I love what you do and how you improve the process. So, what I learned through my podcast, and you won't believe, because it covers everything you already said. So, I had a conversation with someone, and she explained the difference between the hiring and the application process. You talked about the hiring process. I did not know the difference yet, but it's clear because yeah, first you sort out, and yeah, and you talked about not bias, like biosphere. I was in the bond about bias, okay, and then yeah, and then prejudice. You didn't use the word, but then I talked with them, and this was really astounding, a blind entrepreneur, and he told me that 76% of the blind people in America are unemployed. So maybe I mean, yes, you talk about skills, but still people without eyes or eyesight can have other abilities, and they can bring them in into companies. So the possibility that they are not employed is reduced. Wow.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. And that also comes back down to healthcare, right? So healthcare are going to have massive changes with progress on different diseases, which could include helping those people with disabilities to overcome disability too. So they could not only be selected for some roles, they might be eligible for more roles in the future. I think AI can definitely shape big time diversity and inclusion.
Yes, and it's so important because it's not full developed yet, and we have to catch up. Of course, inclusion is so important. It's exactly what I want to talk about. And also, when you talked about the extroverts, right, the people who are very skilled in communication and sell themselves, but they are introverts as well. I had also an interview like 2 days ago with the proud introvert was her name or her claim, whatever, and helping people because it's not a bad thing, but maybe you have um no chances in the application process, and you reduce this. So it's so important. Thank you so much. I have another question, of course.
Of course.
Your book, 66 Days Success Formula, focuses on achieving goals. How does this mindset align with the rapid innovation at Bonsai AI?
Another good question. I love your questions today. Um, I think one of the most important messages from the book is about communication and mindset. And what I mean by that, depending the words we choose in our day-to-day life, it shapes the way we see the world. The way we see the world shapes our mindset, and our mindset really either drives or blocks us from our future successes. And I think it's fully aligned with innovation. And anything in the book, I'm kind of driving to inspire people to challenge themselves, to challenge the limits of their brain, of their physical abilities, of everything that they've been told since childhood, because it's all just opinions. And as humans, we're so powerful, especially our mind that drives everything. And as when it comes to technology and innovation, all you need to do is overcome your fear of unknown and try things out and then try different elements and you'll find your space within that. And it's extremely important because pace of change right now is faster than ever and it will not stop. It will just continue. So those who are in the right mindset will be leading the change and will enjoy it, will be successful.
That sounds great. Those who are in the right mindset and those who are willing to change, right? You talked about perspectives earlier. I love that so much. Yes, it depends on the right perspective and the choice, of course, of that. So you talked about goals. What about your own goals? Do you set goals or intentions? And what is one of your next projects?
Of course I do. I'm extremely high achiever, as most of the people in my life know, which sometimes people say you go too hard on yourself. That being said, when you have goals that you're able to break it down into a smaller goals, you can actually achieve them. And so my example is I used to hate running. I still probably do a little bit every time I negotiate with myself to go for a run. And I never imagined I would run a half marathon. And my first half marathon was in 6 weeks from the day I started running. But the way it happened because I used to break it down into very small portions, right? I would run and I would celebrate every 10%, sometimes every 500 meters. And I was like, okay, just 500 more, just 500 more. And that's how I got to my first half marathons. And it's not about, thinking of, oh, I'm not at the top, I'm not going to even start. It's about really doing that first step, which is, it is indeed the hardest. And so for me personally, I think on the personal side, I have two goals that I'm working on. One, I want to do a full marathon in New York City, and you have to deserve it. So you like as much as my body is ready, but you have to deserve it. There is a special program. You can't just buy a ticket. And then the other one, I'm trying to run 300 kilometers in 1 month, which requires a lot of consistency and mindset work, but also not sacrificing my other parts of life. So that's like a personal achievement. And then on the work side, I always have like lots of projects that I'm aiming to achieve. And if I learn one thing for sure, as soon as you hit a top of the mountain, you see another mountain that is higher, and you like have few days to celebrate, and then you go on the next journey because it is about the journey.
Wow, I love that. Thank you so much for sharing about the marathon and half marathon. And I heard about the New York Marathon. I had a podcast guest, and he was like, he told me he was there in New York City with a friend, and she said, and there was the marathon, and she did a joke and said, yeah, it is for you or something. And he said, no. But 1 year and a half later, indeed, he was there running his first marathon. He trained half a year for that with a special trainer or coach, let's say, in Asia. I think someone specialized on that. So my next question is about your coaches and mentors. Do you have coaches? And who was the best coach you ever had?
Um, I think yes. So the answer is yes. I always have coaches, mentors, and it's interesting because they change very quickly and they change based on the stage of life you are. And it's important to understand when the time is to move to something else. And your coach could be anybody from your therapist to your coach in the gym to your friends to people you work with. So don't think of, I think a lot of people think of coaches as people you pay and they have professional career in that. Not really. Like right now, my last two coaches, pretty much one was a business coach, an entrepreneur for the company I used to work for. And since I started a tech company, she was a great woman that would give me a good advice how to get that done. My other coach was a manifestation coach recently, and it was the very first time I learned that that actually exists, but it was the right time in my life. I was looking for a lot of answers or understanding of some patterns, and that was super helpful. And then now I think I don't have an official coach at this stage because I'm really, really learning from a lot of really high entrepreneurs, a lot of them like people who've done multi-million businesses, and they are massively helpful. Just observe how they act, how they talk, what they do. It's already a lesson. And so I'm learning as much as I can because in the end of the day, that's how they achieve their results. And when the time comes, sometimes I have a specific topic I would really need support with. I would go through my network and I would see who that person could be, and I would just reach out.
Wow, that's amazing. Okay, so you recommend to have a coach or to ask for help if the time is right. And please reach out to Olia. She's amazing. She has incredible knowledge and she wants to share it with you. So my next question, where can we find you when people reach out to you? And yeah, this is my question.
Yeah, absolutely. It's super simple. The best way to find me, it's on LinkedIn. I'm quite active on LinkedIn. I'm sharing a lot of insights on different topics, personal AI, as well as about what we progress with in the company. I do use Instagram, but more just to share some insights. So I would say LinkedIn definitely would be your best bet.
I love LinkedIn and we are already connected. And I found you or you found me, I don't remember, on Podmatch. So we we were a match and we are a match. Thank you so much. This was our interview and now it's time for your final thoughts to the audience, please.
Of course, I think if I can share one thing that drove me, it's anything I do in life, it's in order to help people to be excited about what they do, to get better job, to be happy and inspired about their daily life in the moments that they never thought possible. So if I can wish you one thing is to believe in good in people and gift what you would love to receive because it's so easy to go negative in our world and it's going to be so much more easier and it's so hard to do good but that's the best part of life, so do good, be good, and be conscious about your behaviors.
Wow, thank you so much. I'm blessed and honored.
Thank you for having me.
And see you in the next episode. Thank you for listening to Inspired Choice today. I'm thrilled to have you on this journey of growth and transformation. Don't forget to hit follow or subscribe to stay connected and never miss an episode. And here's something special. Grab your free 20-minute breakthrough session with me. It's designed to help you kickstart or level up your business. Just check out the show notes for more. Until next time, keep making those inspired choices. See you in the next episode.